S.I.N Radio. Episode number 18. I'm your host, Mr. Mercy.
I'm your man, Cool Breeze.
And this is S.I.N Radio Cast, Strength in Numbers Radio. Yes, y'all. What's going on, folks? Have y'all missed us out there? Have y'all missed us?
What's going on, people? I know we've been missed. I know
y'all been missing this ism, man. We got a great show lined up today. Cool. What's going on with you, man? First and foremost, what's going on the West Coast over there?
Everything is cool. Just going through the daily routine. We speak all the time, but just getting things done. We just putting together this great platform. We're getting a lot of attention now, and we're getting a lot of great guests, and we just keeping the flow of the show going, as you already know.
Right.
How's everything on your end, bro?
Absolutely, man. And we like to apologize. I know it's been some gaps between the shows, but we're approaching this a little bit different. We want to start breaking up the shows into smaller sample sizes, and that takes a little bit of time and takes a little bit extra effort. But I hope you guys are pleased with what we're putting out there. So got to put that out there. And before we even get into the third person that is on the show, I like to just shout out my folks over there at Turntable Tendencies. My man DJ S.I.N, DJ Hobo, my man YZ. TTTradio.net is the website. If you missed that, authentic DJing, mixing, blending, this is definitely the place that you want to go and check that out.
Definitely, for sure.
So definitely put that out there. Also, show topics, ideas, definitely want to email us at sinradiowave@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram at S.I.N Radio Cast, and also on Facebook. Hit us up there, man. Shoot us a line. Cuss us out, whatever, man. Whatever you feel like doing.
And also, we have a Twitter page as well too, which is S.I.N Radio Cast. So all of the same name on pretty much all of the platforms. So yeah, check us out for sure.
Absolutely, man. So today is our 18th episode. We've been just continuing to go forward. And like every other episode, we're always going to have a title. And the title of today's show is The Life You Save May Be Your Own.
Oh, yeah.
The life you save may be your own. And this is going to be a deep show. This is be packed with information. And I hope all of you guys out there listening, and gals as well, and undecided. I want all of y'all to, hopefully you all get something out of this show. And definitely want to introduce this brother on the screen. My man, welcome to the show, S.I.N Radio Cast. My man, Patrick Donaldson.
What's up,
What's going on, brothers? What's going on, brothers?
What's going on, man? What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just excited to get a chance to rap with you all and talk to your audience, and just it's all about empowering each other, and I love what you all are doing. You out here educating people, man. It's awesome. This is what it's about right here. Educating, taking the time to educate the people. And y'all doing it from coast to coast.
Oh yeah,
definitely. And you're doing the same thing too. So just real quick, for all the people who might be thinking like, who the hell is Patrick Donaldson? Can you just give us a little summary of who you are, what you do, and
Okay. Who I am? I'm Patrick Donaldson. Again, my little tag name I go by is the Financial Sensei. So from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Played football in college. And I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna go back to college and up to now. I played football in college. Again, got my degree. UTC, UT Chattanooga.
Okay.
Yeah, UT Chattanooga. I'm originally from Athens, Georgia. But again, came up there, went up to Chattanooga to play football. Ended up getting married, staying. But while there, got 4 kids. But while there, I worked for one of the largest insurance companies at the time. But again, I wanted something more though. I wanted something more and have an impact on people. And then, and even early on, I had a knack or something for entrepreneurship. Understand, I wanted to have my own. Even
Okay.
though I went the corporate route and stayed in corporate America 18 years, but again, that wanting to have my own never left me. So
All
started
right.
out doing what I'm doing now. Been doing that now for 7 years.
7 years.
Wow.
So
So
okay, hold on now. I want to just go back a little bit further before we
yes,
go into
sir.
that. So you said you were from Georgia, and where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Georgia or Tennessee?
Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia.
Yep.
So growing up in Athens, which is a
Mhm.
smaller city than Atlanta, what was your
Correct.
childhood like? What were some of your early ambitions?
Football, man. Football. I mean, you look at all of my cousins. I had a lot of older male cousins, and man, football, man. For our family was about football and track and speed. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And that's what we were about. So, and my ambitions again were play football, but again, all of us have family members that dib and dab and some other stuff too. Okay,
That's right.
how they make their bread. But
Right.
I always knew I wanted to play football on another level, and I knew that would be my ticket to get me out of my environment.
Right. And
So
Georgia is a powerhouse state for football like Texas. I
Yeah.
mean,
yes,
you look at
yes,
the draft, a lot of the guys came out of Georgia, and not necessarily the universities in Georgia, but even, you look at guys like Evan Ingram, who's on the New York Giants, one of my
right.
favorite football team. He's out of I believe Powder Springs. You got
Mm-hmm.
so many guys coming out of Georgia, man. It's definitely like a powerhouse for football players, as well as Florida and Texas
Oh,
and
big time, man.
Louisiana as well.
So
Big
let
time.
me ask you. So your school that you played for, is it a D1, Division 1 football program?
Football to my UTC.
Yes.
Yeah, it's D1 AA.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yep,
Nice.
it was. And then it was I say the biggest difference, and this one thing I tell a lot of young athletes, the biggest difference between high school and college. High school, you can get away with pretty much your talent. Man, you get to college, dude. I mean, you got some people, hey, they just as talented. The game, they bigger, they faster. I mean, it's like, man, you're like, woo, okay, I'm on another level now. So
Wow. Yeah. Cool.
and then I really wasn't a big dude, but I was fast.
Right.
Oh man. Good
Absolutely,
stuff.
man. So growing up in Athens, like, I just like to go back and just go into the childhood thing because I grew up around video games. So like growing up,
Right.
did you play video games? Were you into games, things like that outside of sports?
Oh man, shoot, yeah, man. We was you all familiar with Tecmo Bowl
I've,
Yes.
yeah,
on
I've heard of it.
Nintendo? Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude, we played that
Yeah, I
religiously.
had
You hear
Nintendo.
me? You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? We played it, and then of course, when the game system, when that stuff would start changing over, we played John Madden. See, me and
Yeah.
my cousins, man, we used to play tournaments, dude. This how the weekend was for us. Okay, Friday night, no, Saturday. Okay, we out Friday night. We do whatever we do. Saturday morning, we start this tournament at 9, about at 12 noon. We stay playing that tournament. It's about 6 or 8 o'clock at night. Then we go out party again. You know what I'm saying? That's how. I mean, we stayed on them games, man. We stayed on them games. It kept us out of a lot of trouble though, too.
definitely. And I'm gonna say this too. We were probably the first generation to really have video games.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
here's the difference though between this generation and our generation. We had a lot more of a balance.
we
We
Yeah.
did
play video games, but we will also be outside.
Side. Yep.
all night.
This generation here, it's kind of hard. You kind of got to drag them outside the house
You
to
do.
kind of get them some sunlight and work up some sweat. So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I noticed that about this generation. I look at my stepson. Sometimes we got to kind of get him out the house and get him. And then when he gets out there, it's like, oh, it's like he's been out there the whole time. So,
Right.
so I always notice that with this current generation. So let me ask you a question. So you went to the University of Chattanooga.
Right. Tennessee,
Right.
Chattanooga.
Okay. So what did you take up and when you went to school?
I took up criminal justice when I went to school. My major was in criminal justice, but I had a minor in history, philosophy, and religion. Because I was just the history part of I'm fascinated with, and then the criminal justice part I was fascinated with the and then look, don't judge me on this, but look, this because I had so many run-ins with the police when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man. I remember I wrote a paper about this when I was a freshman at UTC. I used to want to be a cop to retaliate on cops. And that's the truth, man. And it was a picture, man. Somebody took of me when I was it was in my senior year. Y'all remember the incident with Rodney King?
Oh,
yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Okay. I was a senior in high school when that happened. Okay. So when that happened, I can remember doing what Kaepernick did. Not standing. I sat down though anytime they played that, I sat, man. It was because I was so bothered by it, because I was like, man, how can you actually, you see it was on TV, you see what they did to this dude and you acquitted them dudes?
Right.
I was blown away, man. So, but didn't mean to take that detour, but man, that's
no, go ahead,
man. That's some of the stuff, I grew up with. So when I said, man, I want to make a difference, man, when I when I got in college, I said, man, I wanted to do that, but I was wanting to do it for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but then
I don't necessarily consider that the wrong reason. That's just my,
I got you.
I think it's necessarily the wrong reason. You just
right.
were compelled at that time, and that
Right.
sparked an interest in you. So I think more brothers, unfortunately, they wait till they get behind bars and become jail lawyers.
Right.
Yeah. Real talk.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's almost like what James Baldwin said, man. To be a conscious black man in America is almost that you would walk around angry all the time.
Yeah.
If you conscious on what has happened throughout, history, man, society, and then it's still like we still here, man. Seriously. So
yeah, I always say, the only thing that really changes is time and technology, but I think people's attitudes never really change.
That's a fact.
that's real.
And they expect change. It's funny, you can not to digress, but I noticed with some of these movements, so-called in the favor of black people, they use our anger, and it's kind of like they take the anger and focus it in one area that's not really going to solve the problem that they're angry about. It's just kind of like this victim this victim mentality, that everybody just coming together and just kumbayaing under this victim mentality, but very few people are really giving out the information to really make things happen.
Correct.
Outside of the anger, like what do we do
correct.
after the anger? How do we fix this? And
Yeah.
I hear people crying out, "Oh, we need justice." Is that all you need?
That's right.
Is that the end game?
No.
Right.
It's justice. That's it.
Nah, man. You hit on. So I was talking to somebody. I can't remember, one of my friends I was talking to about this. I said, for example, Cool B.
Yeah.
Man, there's no way I know you all, and I go to you, and I know you, but I'm going to you like let's say I'm a police officer. I'm coming to you. I know you. I'm gonna handle you totally different because I know you.
Right.
Well, and then these officers, man. Just this me just talking. The officers, whether you know this person or not, that's somebody family member, man. That's somebody's family member. If you do it from a strength of, if you operating from a strength of love, there's no way I would do something to try to harm you. And not where I'm trying to harm you, where I'm in your life, if I'm coming from a position of love. Does that make sense? Because see, I know you now. You know what I'm saying? So I know you now. Even again, these situations, man, these situations, it seems like they just I mean, we gotta, it gotta, and you were saying what changes? That love gotta change. That's where it changed. The love. Until that change happened. No, I don't care what you do. You putting a band-aid on something that's need surgery.
That's a fact, man.
Right.
So let's. I wanna go here. So I'm glad you touched on that. That's some very valid points. So I want to go back to to the college days now. You went to school and did you graduated, correct?
Yes.
And so what did you graduate? What field did you graduate in?
Criminal justice. Criminal
Criminal.
justice. And then see, when I graduated, and see, this is the thing that I try to encourage people. You would think it would be a plan, like a step. Okay, once you graduate, you do this, you get this job, you move in this field and all that. Man, it's no type of direction, man. It's no type of direction. Like I said, when I graduated, I worked at one of the largest insurance companies, and I remember, man, I remember a guy. I was interviewing for a position, man, and he was telling me to go back and finish something. I'm like, man, I don't need to go back and finish nothing, man. I already finished something. So he's wanting me to go pursue like farther. And it's something I've always said, man, those degrees, man, it's cool. It teach you how to have a career. It doesn't teach you how to make money. Okay.
Say that again.
There's a big difference. Those degrees and things I have, it teaches you how to have a career, how to have a career path, but it doesn't teach you how to make money. Okay. And even then I went for because I said, okay, let me buy into this corporate America. So I went and got my master's. So I got my master's in human resource. I got it in sports administration, and I got it in executive leadership. Okay, again, I thought that would open up certain doors. Okay, it did not. Okay, it did not open up
The
certain
masters
doors.
didn't open up doors.
Certain doors. No, because see, and because I was feeling like, man, since I've been in this company, I shouldn't have to leave to go to no other company. You know, they should be able to promote within because again, I was competing with, and I remember having an interview for this job, and I didn't get it. But the lady, one thing I so appreciated about her, she took the time to explain to me why she picked the person she picked. And I respected that. She said, since you took your time to interview for this position, I'm gonna take my time to let you know why I chose who I chose. Wow. And from then on, oh man, if I interview for a position, I expect you need to tell me why I didn't get it. Because she took the time to explain it, So I'm like, man, because otherwise, how do you know what to do to get a job? You know what I mean? Because sometimes they ask you questions. Man. You don't know how to operate in that situation because you've never been in that situation.
Right.
And how do I know how to answer this? So sometimes, man, it's like, man, it's like, boy, like you Samboing and you you know what I'm saying? You like, man, how do I so
Okay, so, man, that's very valid, man. And sometimes you need to ask those questions because it's no different than a breakup. Like I watch this guy Kevin Samuel sometimes, and he says this a lot to the females. Like, okay, you just broke up with the guy. Did you ever ask why he why he's not with you? It's always good to just tap back in because you might find a common thread between your exes. They might find something in you that they take issue with, and then from there you can start to go inside and start to correct that stuff. So
right.
Definitely.
Hey, I'm gonna talk to you about something. This funny right here, but I guess most cats ain't never done this. I remember I interviewed my wife. I interviewed her first. This what I mean. I interviewed her first. Yeah, this what I
controversy here.
Yeah, look. This what I did. This what I did because I wanted to make sure. Because see, anything I said to her when we were friends, I could have said it to you too. You see what I'm saying? So I
Right.
never said nothing out of the way. Like, man, I ain't gonna tell y'all, man, you look good in them jeans. I ain't gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say that to her. And what I mean by that, this is what I asked. I asked her about her past relationships. Okay. And I asked her, why did these relationships end? Because I wanted to know. I want to know, okay, why did they end? Is it a possibility you may get back with this person? I need to know I need to know, man, because I don't need no surprises. You know what I mean? Because if I'm gonna invest, if I'm gonna invest myself into you, I need to know that there ain't no loose strings out there I don't know about. Nah, man. And I wanted to know. I wanted to know this, man. I went through a litany, a list of questions with her, man. I mean, it's funny, man. I wish you were here because she'll tell you how it went, man. Because seriously, man, because where I worked at, the ratio was 1 to 14. Okay, one guy to 14 girls. So, man, they coming at you left and right. So
Yeah,
I
you got
wanted
to
to
pick.
make sure,
You want to make sure
right,
you pick
man.
the right one. You hit.
That's right.
And
That's
it's
right,
crazy because marriage is a business, anyways. Marriage is a business.
bro. You know what to say.
That's a
It
fact.
definitely is. It definitely is because see, sometimes you got to understand. I mean, we have to understand, meaning the couples. Y'all on the same team, man. You on the
Right.
same
Absolutely.
team, man. If we concern ourselves with pleasing the other person, then nobody get left out.
That's a fact, man. Wise words, man. Wise words. So let me tell you, let me ask you this. So you graduated with the masters and you said you worked for an insurance company. Did you go into any other careers after the insurance company leaving there?
No, I did not. I stepped into what I'm doing now. I stepped. I'm like now I'm advising people on pretty much financial advisor, man, advising people on their finance and everything. And then it was so fulfilling because now, man, you having an impact where people that look like me don't know this information, and then people that don't look like me getting taken advantage of. You know, I mean, it's heartbreaking, man, when you sit as people thinking they have one thing and they don't, or they hadn't been educated enough to know this. And for example, my mother, my mother was a nurse 40 years. She didn't know nothing about putting money back, and she didn't know nothing about that. Now it's kind of I look at it both ways. It's kind of like on her a little bit, but then again, she didn't know. Somebody should have. I mean, and that's what I'm on, man. I want to sit people down because if we keep living, guess what's going to happen? We're going to get older.
Right.
So we got to have that delayed gratification, be putting stuff back, man, for that time to come. Because that time coming, if you keep living, it's coming.
It's coming.
So don't act like it's a surprise. It's coming. It's coming.
So you pretty much you're a financial advisor, and me and you spoke, and as well as Cool B, and you were telling us about the life insurance field.
Yes.
So
yes.
what really got you into that? Did someone mention it to you? Did something happen in your family where somebody lost lost their life and weren't covered? What really got you into the life insurance field? Because a lot of people kind of stay away from that. They hear life insurance.
Right. What got me
even
right?
though
What got
life insurance?
right? That's true. What got me into it, man? I just saw the opportunity where it was and then not even just the life insurance part, the investment side too. Okay,
Right, absolutely.
That's what really. And then when they start, and I'm the one I love to be doubted. Okay, I love to prove people wrong. Okay,
Underdog mentality.
I loved it, man. I guess that's what had me thrive in football. Look, I'm number 5. I was 5'7", 155 pounds back then. But so I've always had that tonight, like, man, shoot, I want to prove this wrong. I want to prove this wrong. Okay, so it was saying that just 1%, 1 to 2% of the population has their investment license. And I'm like, man, why is that? But this the field they get paid the most. So I'm like, because you look at the financial industry, it get paid the most. Think about Wall Street and all the people They get
Yes.
paid the most money, man. And then I start looking into the insurances, and I saw that. Remember, I said I got a minor in history, so I started looking at insurance, and I saw that they used, again, the industry sold us Jim Crow rates of life insurance. Okay, so then I start looking into that. I'm like, okay, so now what happened with this? Okay, now why did they do this? Okay, why did this person buy this? Okay, why didn't they buy this? Okay, they didn't buy that because they wasn't offered that.
So
So
wait,
then,
Jim Crow. Okay, please expand on that a little bit. What is Jim Crow life insurance rates?
okay, back, let's say early 1900s. Okay, it was estimated that it was of the opinion we would die out. Black people would die out. We were inferior. We would die out. Okay, so they was inferior. So therefore, our life insurance policies were more expensive because the company was under assumption they was gonna have to pay out sooner. So therefore, to get all their money, they had our rates higher. Okay, so that's how those gym. And then some insurance companies wouldn't even cover African Americans. Wouldn't even cover us at all. So they would not cover us at all. So and you think about stuff like that, and then we look at the economic disparity and the difference. Man, you look at sometimes some people how their family get wealth is through an insurance policy. But what if you can't even get an insurance policy to leave wealth behind? So I mean, we could stay on just on this topic for the rest of the thing if we wanted to, but that was just to touch on a little bit, man. Where man, I was like, man, and then I used to wonder, like, man, hey, why did my grandparent? I'm sure my grandmother would have knew this. She would have taught my mother. My mother would have taught me. But again, if she didn't know it, how can she teach that?
Right.
Exactly.
Didn't trickle down.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then the thing is, I once heard when I was in school that a lot of these insurance companies got their power horse money off of slavery, slave trade, maybe even before the 1900s.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You absolutely right. That's a fact. They get, and then I mean, man, see this, y'all gonna get me on something. Look, they okay again because we would consider property, right? And if you have property,
law technically,
right.
Yeah.
If you have property, you will insure your property, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So because we were property to them, they had insurance on us. So when we died, guess what? They had an insurance policy that paid out. But what if we didn't die? What if we become disabled or we can't work anymore? They still get money off that because again, it's insurance on it because you had insurance on something that was producing you a income or revenue, but now that one they can't produce anymore, so you had insurance on that to cover that. Oh man, just when you start, and again, when you start knowing some of this stuff, you start to shake your head and be like, dude, how could we get ahead? Seriously?
They're like, they didn't teach us this in school for a reason.
Right.
I never heard about
man,
Jim Crow rate life insurance or insurance period. And it's crazy because I had a conversation with my stepdaughter's boyfriend one time. This is recent, and I was trying to inform him that at your young age, I would definitely tell you to get some type of life insurance policy because right now you're pretty young. You can get some real low rates locked in. I mean, ridiculously low. And he didn't see the benefit in that. And I thought that was kind of crazy because we put insurance on our cars, we put insurance on our house, we put insurance on our cell phones, but we don't see the importance of putting insurance on ourselves.
You preaching. I mean, you look at it like this. This one thing we were talking about earlier. Okay, this is what I ask people. Okay, now do you think like life insurance? Just think about when you was 20 years old. You was probably the healthiest you had ever been in your life when you was 20 years old. Okay, I know I was, but so during that time, life insurance is super cheap for you. because the probability of you living to 70 is high. So the insurance company know they're gonna get their money back. So, but this one thing I ask people, okay, do you think the older you get, life insurance get less expensive or more expensive?
More.
It gets more expensive. And then not only does it get more expensive, you might not be as healthy. So, okay, so it's good to get life insurance when you young, man, and lock that mug in place. I mean, that's again, but this is information people need to be taught. Because eventually you young, eventually, if you keep living, you're gonna want to get married, you're gonna possibly have kids. So why not insure yourself? You know, for when those things happen. Don't do it when you get those. If that's something you desire, you know you're gonna get those. So have something on yourself early. So
absolutely, man. Whew, man, preach, brother, preach. Patrick, I got another question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, so we know that you're an expert in your field, and I'm sure that people like to debate with you about your knowledge and your profession. So, what is some of the pushback that you get from people when you're discussing the different policies and different strategies as far as investing or starting up policies as far as life insurance?
The most pushback I get is I done had this policy this long. I'm not changing this policy, and the policy is no good for them. Okay, I mean, you hear that? For example, it took me a year and a half to convince my mother. Okay, so again, people, we are creatures of habit. Okay, we like things how they are, and we feel like we need to be loyal. And this what blows my mind. We're loyal to things that's not loyal to us. That's not benefiting us. Why are you loyal to that? Just because you can change that. Like, for example, a tree can't change from being a tree. A dog can't change from being a dog. We as humans, we can change. We don't have to stick with something that's not benefiting us. Okay? Okay, if people will stay in a situation that is destroying, that's pulling away wealth from them, like it's nothing. I mean, people stay in situations just because that's what they saw somebody in their family did. Example, prior to me being in this field, I had a way of thinking like that. I had a certain type of life insurance. Why did I have it? Because my mother had it, my mother-in-law had it, my grandmother had it. But once I was educated on it, I was like, hold up, why we doing this? Why do I have this? Why don't I switch this up? Again, people don't take the time to know, man. I mean, think about this. Y'all know this. My people are destroyed for a lack of what?
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. I mean, we don't, I mean, again, and then when somebody bring us information, and then this another thing that, I mean, I'm just calling it what it is. When I bring you the information, if I'm not the color of this shirt I have on, sometimes they don't believe. You know, they think, oh man, how you know that? Like, man, come on, man. We gotta enlighten ourselves, you know, and especially I put people in better situations. Because that's what my goal is. I take an L just to put you in a better situation than you in. Because to me, it's more about doing what's right for you the first time. The first time, not come back, oh yeah, man, I should have told you about this. Nah, you should have did it the first time. See, if I do it right the first time, I never have to go back and correct nothing.
That's very important, man. Establishing that relationship and making that first impression is definitely something that the most successful business people do.
Yes,
I don't think people, you speak to a lot of people and you ask them about getting into business, and the first thing, I just want to make money. No, I mean, you're definitely going to make money, but the relationships that you build and the networking you do is really going to bring you the money.
Right.
And I like the fact that you went about it that way, because you came to me and my lady and you were showing me some policies. I was like, are you serious? He showed me some policies I couldn't believe. And the way you break it down, I've never heard anyone. I have life insurance, but I've never heard my life insurance agent break it down the way you did, and that's why I felt it was so important to bring you on, because the way your approach is totally different. You don't oversell people just because they're making more money. I remember you told me a situation about a gentleman we were speaking the other day, a guy who was a high earner, and he was paying this ridiculous amount of money, and then you had to convince him that no, you're paying way more than you were supposed to. Can you just go into that real quick?
I sure will. Now, this is somebody I've known for almost 30 years. Okay. Okay. He's a chemist, so he make good money. Okay. But the insurance he had at the time, and he just had it on himself, man, he was paying over $1,000 a month. Wow. For this life insurance. Okay, you said it to some people, they be like, what? 1,000? Because their mind not there. Again, big income earners pay stuff like that. That's nothing to them. But I showed him how to get coverage on himself and his wife and his kids. Now remember, he paying over $1,000 a month. Okay. I showed him how to do all of that for $280 to $300 a month. And now that money he's saving, now he invests that money.
So he saved $800 a month. So you showed him how to save $800 a month while insuring more people.
Correct.
Wow.
And then not only save him that money, showed him how to invest that money. Okay, that will put him in a totally better place. Totally better place. Okay. Again, it took me, I've known this guy that long, but it took me some convincing because he's thinking like, man, how in the world can you offer me this? And they didn't tell me this. Man, they trying to make money because the industry trying to make money off of you, And see, and that's why I say what I know we talking about how relationships are key. Prime example. The only reason I'm on here is because of your wife. Because I know your wife. My wife know your wife. That's why I'm on here. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have never met you gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad I did, because it's all about relationship. It's all about having a good name. Because it's all about how your wife saw me and my wife, So we can't held us. And it's important, man, just to do, again, like I was saying, do right by people, man. Do right the first time. Treat people right, man. Even if you have to take an L, treat people right, man. They won't forget you. Again, they won't forget you. Because again, look at your wife reached out to my wife.
Yeah. Wow, man. So let me ask you this question, Patrick. What's the difference between term life insurance and whole life insurance?
Excellent question. The difference between the two, definitely the price. But I'm gonna break down term for you, and I'm gonna give you the price of some amounts of both of them, and see what the amount is for both of them. Okay. But a term policy, you can have a 10-year term, a 20-year term, 30-year term, even 35-year term. Okay. Wow. You can have all those. Okay. And a whole life insurance, and a whole life is that type of insurance covers you your whole life.
Oh, wow.
That's why it's called whole life. Okay. But another form of whole life is you have universal life insurance. It's just another form of whole life. Then you have variable life insurance. It's just another form of whole life. But those are pretty expensive. Okay. Now again, the terms are, again, it can be 10, 20, 30, 35. Those are going to be the terms. So when that time comes, when that policy term, you're ready to term, you can, you have options. You can re-up, get another term. But what if you to the point where you have accumulated enough money? Then necessarily you don't need life insurance. Example, why continue to pay for something you don't need? my goal is to get people to a point where you are financially in a better place. Okay, but let me give you the numbers real quick. Okay, a term policy, and this is a term policy for 100,000 for 30 years. Okay, 100,000 for 30 years. It'll be $30.19. Okay,
that's a month.
That's a month.
Okay,
that's
wow.
a month.
Okay.
Okay, now this is a whole life policy. 100,000 for $94.40. Okay, but again, that's your whole life. You pay that every month. Your whole life. But a whole life policy is built where it's supposed to be a savings element with it. Okay, where money is going into like in an investment for you. Okay, but they don't tell you money don't start going into there. I've seen some policies, the money don't start going into there to the third year of that policy. And then on some of them, money don't start going into that savings to 8 years in that policy. Okay. And then not only that money is going in there, it's growing at a slow rate. It's growing anywhere at they guarantee at 4%. Okay. And 4%, this is the thing I like to educate people on is, and this is the rule of 72. Okay. And what the rule of 72 teaches is take the interest rate. Like, for example, in that policy, it says 4%. Okay. You divide 72 by the number 4. That lets you know how long it takes your money to double one time. Okay. The rule of 72, using 4, 72 divided by 4, that's 18. That means if you have, let's say you have $10,000, it would take that $10,000 18 years to double to $20,000. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but do you want to wait that long for your money to double?
No, not at all.
Nah, especially when there are vehicles out there that your money could double faster.
Right.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? Because again, now remember we talked about the 100,000 in the term versus the whole. That's almost a $70 difference. Okay, and what do you do with that money that you're saving here? You invest that money yourself. Why would you let a company invest your money that has an insurance policy with it? And then see, in order to access your money in the whole life policy, you have to borrow your money. And then not only borrow it, you have to pay it back at anywhere from a 6 to 8% interest rate. You have to pay that back. Okay. So my thing again, but it's to each his own. My thing is lay it out for you. I'm here to give you all your options.
Right.
It's up to you what you select. I'm not going to tell you to do this or do that. It's up to you. You have to make that decision. But everybody I know that I've encountered, I don't see where anyone needs to get a policy like a whole life policy, a universal life policy, a variable life policy. Now there are some situations where if they can't get covered with term, some insurance is better than no insurance.
That's right.
Okay. So, but again, the prices, man, the price disparity is humongous because
So you're not to cut you off, but so you're not really for the whole life policy. You're saying the term life policy makes more sense with a certain strategy.
Right. If you invest with it, yes. You have to invest with a term life policy now. Because guess what's going to happen? It's going to turn. Again, that's not a surprise. So you have to invest with that. Right. You have to invest with that. So yes, but again, I have some situations where people have whole life policies because that's just what they wanted. And I'm not going, even though, for example, Cool B, I can tell you, look, man, this is the best for you as far as let's say eating something or doing this or just something, and I'm letting you know this is the best. But you say, nah, man, Pat, nah, man, I still want to just do this. I want to do this. I'm not gonna argue with you, okay? Because again, that's your prerogative. You a grown man, you're gonna make your own decisions. And that's one thing I realized when dealing with people, man. People are people, man.
Yeah.
they want to make their own choices, even though you lay it out to them. You lay it out. I mean, you can lay it out like red carpet, they still gonna go left. You like, seriously? Okay. But I mean, again, that's their prerogative, man.
Okay. I got a good question for you now.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you call a scenario like where you encourage somebody to take out a life insurance policy, whether whole life or term life, and they didn't listen? And
Bro,
if
man,
so, what was the result?
I got too many stories of those. Matter of fact, and I'll give you three stories. Okay. Two of them were my relatives. Okay. And it was sad, man. It was man, me thinking about it, man, get me kind of, but
Right.
it was a situation where, man, had a cousin. He's younger than me too, man. And he had a policy with me, man. He got it in 2016. He let it lapse in 2019. Okay. He let it lapse. But you see, and I still got the text messages where I'm contacting him. Hey, man, get your policy back on the books. Get your policy back on the books. Hey, man, get him back on the books. He was telling me his money was tight and stuff. And I was like, man, dang. But again, he let it lapse in 2019. Okay. Fast forward to October of 2020. He died, man. He died. He died on our grandmother's birthday, man. And his mother's my aunt, and she knew he had a policy with me, but I let her know, man. He let it lapse, and that policy that was $250,000.
Wow.
That could have been a game changer. You know what I'm saying? And then this is it's my little cousin, man. You know what I'm saying? So that was a stinger.
And pardon me, my apologies for that. I mean, this Mercury retrograde is really kicking our ass right now, Patrick. And I feel like somebody don't want this information out, but you can't stop S.I.N Radio, Strength in Numbers Radio Cast. You can't stop it, man. So you were just giving us a second example involving another cousin of yours.
Right. Yeah, and it was a cousin that was real close to me, man. We did a lot of stuff. Together, and then it made me think about, it's some memories I just have with him, just he and I. We share certain stuff, But yeah, man, he died in February.
Wow.
His uncle called me and left me a message, and I was like, I said, once I listened to the message, I was like, oh man, this don't sound good, because he didn't tell me what was in the message, what happened in the message. And I called him back. He was like, you get my message? I said, yeah. Like I'm like, yeah, I got it. What's up? He said, your cousin Cedric died, man. Dude, that was like somebody knocked me straight out. You hear me? I mean, this was the dude that we did a lot together, man. A lot, So it was, and then the crazy thing about it, man, I sat down with him and his wife 5 years ago about getting more coverage. They had some coverage on them about getting more coverage, though. Getting enough coverage where, with this situation happens, she wouldn't have had to go back to work if she didn't want to. You know what I mean? But they didn't get it, and that was like, and that was just another example of like, man, I don't like, man, that made me go even more harder in the paint. Like, look here, man, I'm gonna get on people's nerves. I don't even care. Because I'm doing it. I won't. I know we ain't trying to benefit off somebody's death, but man, come on, man. You want to have something in place, man.
It's inevitable. Not to cut you off, death is inevitable.
Right.
And let me ask you this: do you think life insurance policies get a bad reputation due to a lot of the crime stories that come out, where you see the spouse takes out a policy on the husband, gets him whacked, and then collects the policy thinking they're going to ride off into the sunset? Do you think that's part of it?
It is. And one thing about our culture, it seems like we don't want to talk about it because it makes us think about death. That's something. I mean, it gets a bad rap, man. But again, that's where how you can generate wealth, man. That's how you can generate wealth from from a life insurance policy, from somebody passing away. I mean, again, we don't like to have this conversation, but man, I'm letting my kids and my wife know, look, this is what I got on me. So if something happened, I mean, y'all should be straight. Again, it's inevitable, man. Just like Cool B said, man, it's not. I don't know why we act surprised, and then I understand when sudden things happen. I totally understand that. But if something come, we all know it's a date. It's a date that's our name is on that we're gonna check up out of here. And don't you? And I want to leave my family in a better place. I mean, wouldn't you want to do the same thing? And then another thing, how life insurance get a bad rap. Sometimes, man, people are not educated. People don't take the time to really educate people, man. And then people get taken advantage of. And then even in the end, I remember it was something came on 60 Minutes. It was on 60 Minutes about 5-6 years ago. It was talking about insurance companies that had not paid out to people that have died. Okay, and they just did the state of Florida. Oh my God, it was so much. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, that's why some people, don't get it again. And then going back to, remember I said something about Jim Crow earlier?
Right.
It was some policies, man, we as black folk had that when they died, they didn't pay them out. They didn't pay them out, man. It's like, man, like, and that's how you hear people, man, them crooks and all that. Because man, people don't, the companies, man, again, you're not thinking about people, man. You're not thinking about people.
So let me ask you a question, Patrick. So what is this license that you have that only the 1% has?
Okay, it's called a Series 6 and a Series 63. That's what it's called, and it what it does, it enables me to do investment with retirement accounts, Roth IRAs, traditional IRA, anything investment related. It has me. I can help out. I'm licensed. I have to take a test. You have to pass. Okay, you have to take the test. It's 100 questions.
Okay.
You got to get at least 70 of them correct. Okay, you got to get at least 70 of them correct. Again, now I'm gonna be honest with you. That test, hey, you got to study for that test. You got to get it. But hey, it's worth it though. It's worth it. It's worth it, man. It's worth it. But again, a lot of people, and then this too, to look me up. Like if somebody trying to give you investment advice, it's a website called brokercheck.com. Okay? Brokercheck.com. You can go on there and put in that person's name, and that person should pull up. My name is Patrick Donaldson. That's DONALDSON. I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You can put that in there. My name will pull up. It will let you know all the states I am licensed in. Okay? So if somebody trying to give you investment advice, if they're not on there, man, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them, man.
Don't
because
listen to
again,
them.
I'm telling you, man, because see,
Do it.
I can only see, I'm held to a standard, man. The SEC will get on my behind, FINRA will get on my behind. So I can only be saying stuff that's fact. Man, they gonna, dude, I can lose my license. That's my livelihood. You think I want to do that? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Not at all. Not at all.
No. So again, brokercheck.com.
Appreciate that, man. You heard it here, man. You heard it here. The brother's dropping some jewels on you now. So, Patrick, what is the biggest financial myth you heard growing up that you found out wasn't true or was a lie?
That's so funny because I remember playing with a little white friend, and when I was younger, and he was saying I remember he said something like his grandmother doesn't work. She just live off the interest of her money. Okay. Me not being educated thought it was the money that she had in the bank. She was living off the interest. It wasn't that, brother. She was living off the interest of her investments. Okay. See, the myth that I thought was the banks, everybody, the banks, get the bank. No, man, investments, man. Investments. Investment. It's been a myth. And then a lot of times, man, in our culture, we're not educated enough about it. Or if we're educated enough about it, it seemed like it would be nothing to teach the next person. You know what I mean? It's like this. If I know this information and it's helping me, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share the information. That's on you to do what you want to do with the information. But that biggest myth was that you can live off the interest in banks, but it's not banks, man.
Absolutely not.
Think about this. What do banks make? What do they make?
They make money off of other people's money. That's it.
Right. And think about it, and they're getting in trouble. They are getting in trouble because of the money they have made off people insufficient funds during this time of the pandemic. You know how much money they made? $1.4 billion, man, off of insufficient funds of people that, and then, okay, you're going to have a side of people going to say, well, people should have knew how much money they had and all that. But again, you making money off of people's misfortune. Think about that.
It's a whole fact. And not only that, banks pretty much, when you put the deposit into the account, they make X amount of money on top. They can create money on top of whatever you deposited.
Yeah. And you look, go ahead.
They loan that money out. They put into different loans and things like that. And the money supply, and it just expands it. And then when you go to ask for a loan, they're telling you a risk.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's your money that is funding their whole operation, and it's just a one-sided deal.
Now check this out. I just found this out probably about 6 months ago. Okay. Now it used to be if you put $100,000 in there, the bank they can loan out up to 90% of your money, loan it out. Okay. Now again, I just found this about 6 months ago. Now they can loan out 100% of your money. That's why you have to make an appointment. If you have so much money up in the bank, if you want to take all your money out, you have to make an appointment.
Yeah.
You can't just go and take your money out if you got a lot of money. You have to set up an appointment. So you look at banks do have its purpose, okay, because we need money in the bank to pay your bills and different stuff like that. But if you try to grow wealth in the bank, please miss me with that. And a CD, bro, a CD don't even give you 1%. So why would you CD? And man, oh my God, it's just things that people. Again, you got to take the time to educate them, though. It's not their fault. You got to take the time to educate them and really just take the time to listen, man, and just ask them what they want to achieve with their money and stuff like that. But again, it's education.
So, Patrick, let me ask you this question, man. So, we're in the age of information right now, right? So, would you encourage kids to go to college or to go get a certificate or to go get a trade? Like, what would be your advice to a lot of the youth?
Ooh, that's a good question.
from your perspective.
Right. From my perspective. Okay, let me say this. My oldest, I got 4 kids.
Okay.
My oldest son, he started out in college. Okay. He didn't finish college. Okay. He's in the music. And I'm not just saying this because he's mine. He's in the music, and he's to me, man, he is a gifted actor. Okay. He's really good at that. And he's pursuing that, and I'm like, and I encourage him, man. He really, I've always told him, man, if you're going to do music, man, make sure you're making sense. Cause again, I raised him on Outkast, Common, Wycliffe, Black Thoughts, the Roots.
Ooh.
I raised him on people who had something to say. Of course, you had the Biggies and then the Jay-Z and stuff like that. Again, you had to say something for me to listen to you. So that's what I raised him up on. But then you got my 2 younger boys who are 16 and 14. They're in the sports. So they're going to have to go to college. You know what I'm saying? If they want to make it to another level. Now, even I'm starting to even tell my kids what I want them to go for. You know, I want my middle son, I want him to go into communications because he's really good with bringing people together. My youngest son, I want him to be a lawyer. See, he has to go to college for that. You know, I want him to go to, and my little girl, since she was 2 years old, 3 years old, she's 10 now. She's been saying she's gonna be a doctor. Okay, so for fields like that, you have to go to college, you know. But to go to college to get an interior design degree, man, you don't need that for that. You know, you can go get a certificate or something, you know. And I look at now one thing I say, what the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga helped me with is help me be well-rounded. Okay, that's what it helped me. It helped me be well-rounded, and meaning with where you took courses where I was able to learn about philosophy, religion, history. Okay, if I had went to a technical school, I wouldn't have learned that. You know, so that pulled my interest in that. So what I encourage kids, you as a parent, you have to know your kid. Okay, you have to know your kid. You got to know your kid. Know which child needs to do this, needs to do that. You as a parent, it's on us as the men. I look at it like this: it's on me as a man. That's me being the head of my house. Let my kids. That's what I need you to do.
But unfortunately, a lot of children do not have that figure in the house.
That's true.
And
that's true.
Downfall and in our community, and that's why I think mentorship is so important. I had a mentor. Shout outs to LeBron Johnson. He was an excellent mentor, man. He helped me out tremendously, and I love that guy, man. His mindset, his calmness, the approach he used with me.
That's awesome.
I just wish I had a fraction of that. I'm working on it, but I'm a little more raw, direct, straight to the gut. You know, with my approach. Well, I got another question. We're going to wrap it up soon, but if you can go back in time and speak to the younger you with the knowledge you have, what is one thing you would say to the younger you?
One thing I would say, because being a coach, got into it, football. I'd say stick with it with that. Meaning it was back then, man, if you didn't keep your word with me, I ain't fool with you no more. At all. Okay. I didn't fool with you no more.
Cut off game impeccable.
Right, man. Look, so and then I'd have said, man, start because see, I started working when I was 13. Okay. I started working when I used to work at the Georgia football game, selling Cokes and peanuts. Okay. But then I had a regular job when I was 14. That's me. I had a regular job when I was 14. I worked at the old spaghetti store in Athens, Georgia. And it was funny, man, because I didn't supposed to have a job. You're supposed to be 15. I done lied, told them I was 14. 15. End up working. But I'd have started, because I was good at saving money early on. I'd have had somebody teach me about investing back then. Because again, I could save money, man. I could save some money. You know, if I saw something I wanted, I could save some money. I remember I bought my first pair of Jordans. That was $100-something, man. Dude, that hurt when it's your money. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, yeah, that hurt when it's your money. But my mom, like I said, my mom was a single parent though, but I always wanted to have my own, man. So I would tell my younger self, hey, look, man, get you start investing, man. Start investing. Find somebody to teach you about investing. Because I knew about saving. I knew about saving money. Right. I didn't know nothing about investing money. Right.
That's a fact, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Got another one.
Yes, sir.
What do you hope to achieve with the knowledge that you have in your respective field? What like at the end of the day, what do you plan to achieve overall? Do you see yourself maybe creating an educational course, doing some maybe teaching in front of in a classroom setting? What do you see yourself doing with this knowledge that you have that's so exclusive that only 1% of the population has access to?
I see myself, man, impacting this next generation, man, like never before. Yeah, definitely teaching in the classroom. I've done church presentations where
Right.
I teach the older population, and then teach the next generation. And then, man, I want to empower people. And just like even you all, man, even you all with what you all have, man, I would like to be a blessing and give to you all. You know what I'm saying? To impact you all, impact your family. Because
Right.
again, I don't think it's happenstance that we're meeting. And then it's bigger than me,
Right.
man. It's bigger than me. You know, it's about educating the next generation that coming behind us, man. You know, just making sure they are equipped. Like it remind me of a relay. You know, it's up to us to pass them the baton farther ahead. You know, and pass it on and leave a legacy, man. And I want to leave a legacy where I'm a person, man, that man he do what he said he gonna do. You know, he don't make excuses. You know, just like when you hit me and you were saying, "Hey, man, are we still on?" No doubt, bro. Unless I'm dead, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I done gave you my word. I'm coming.
You know, where people may say one thing and they'll do a totally different thing. And you know, I really do appreciate you coming out and just being a man of your word. And we had conversations on the side. You know, you're a type of person, you have a certain presence when you come in. It's just this childlike inquisitiveness. And you kept asking me questions about where I was from, which a lot of people don't even bother. They'll be like, okay, he's from the Caribbean, Jamaica, right? You know, so
right.
you know, everybody's Jamaican, right? To a lot of people, but you actually took the time, pulled up the map, and you kept saying something. I'm like, no, you're not dumb. You're like, no, you call me dumb for asking this question. I'm like, no. It's not dumb. It's dumb when you don't ask questions, because when you don't ask questions, you're assuming that you know it all.
Right.
And you know, I appreciate you for coming out and just giving us so much information. I mean, this is probably some of the most impactful stuff we've had on this show.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that to say that. I mean, we had our last guest, he gave us a lot of game on the martial arts world and the impact of melanated people that we didn't even know about. And that was major. But just coming to it from a financial investing perspective, you really blessed us today. And yo, just appreciate you coming on, man. And I definitely want you to give out your contact information. Where people can reach you. Maybe people might want to buy some, get some policies from you, get some more game from you. You know, you can put that out there, Instagram and all that stuff, man. Feel free.
Okay. And then I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say this, man. You are important enough for me to know that information about you. That's why I asked. Because I want to know your history. I want to know about you. And same thing with you, Cool B. Once I get in your presence, man, I just, you remember I said that's the history side of me.
Right.
I want to know, man. I want to know about you, man. I really want to know about you.
Yeah, likewise, brother. Likewise.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I asked that. Then important for me to know that. So, so man, thank you again. Thank y'all for giving me this platform to be able to share on here. And then some of y'all forgive me that if I don't know, I know my Instagram it's the financial sensei. It's the however you want to say it, the or the financial sensei. And then my email address is thefinancialsensei@gmail.com. Or you can reach me by phone at 423-827-4963. You can reach me by that. Again, those are my contacts. And again, man, I really do appreciate you two, man. What are you all doing? And you all get this information out here to the masses, man. I look forward to us doing many of these. I look forward to us to all being in the same area, in the same place at the same time. You know, the great bread, man.
That's going to happen.
So
that's definitely going to happen.
And also, I'm, once everything is done and edited or whatever, we're going to put all of your information in the contacts, in the description on the YouTube and everything. So we're gonna put all of that together. So don't even worry about it. So
definitely, man, and keep up the good work, brother. We look to have you back very soon. And you take care of yourself, and just thank you for coming on born and blessing us with the information
Yeah,
and telling
definitely,
your
bro.
story, man. Because your story is a very unique story, and you'll be surprised who you inspire. Trust
Yeah,
me.
Right.
very impactful. Very impactful.
Yes.
Getting ready to sign off. I'm your host, Mr. Mercy,
I'm your man, Cool Breeze.
and we'll
And
catch
this
you next episode. Salute. Hope you enjoyed.
is Radio Cast. Peace.